Sports Shots now catching up with Aylesbury FC manager Paul Bonham after Monday's 1-0 defeat to Winslow in the Buckingham Charity Cup. Paul, end of the season, but I'm sure you were coming here today to looking to put a silver lining on what's been a long season for you. What was your thoughts on the performance today?
We're a bit disappointed. I'm taking nothing away from Winslow. We knew a lot about them. We know a lot of their players. We've seen them play quite a few times. Good side, very good side. Easy. That's what we were saying. A lot of their players can play step four football. So we knew the match. We knew the intensity, but we're just a little bit deflated. I don't think that we were okay in spits and spans, but consistently over the game, I think Winslow were the better team, and fully deserved the win in my opinion.
You think that's a fair result, 1-0?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it pains me to say it because I want to be in a situation where we created chances and we looked dangerous, but it not enough in the game. Yeah, we had a few bright spots, sort of where Ryan made some great runs, poor delivery which didn't get through. AJ made a fantastic save in the first couple of minutes. Had that gone in, it'd been a completely different game because they start chasing it. But yeah, Winslow had some experienced players like Aaron King up front, handful. So overall deflated, but we'll move on.
I've just heard their manager Paul Elaine talking to one of the supporters saying that Ash Jenkins has made two crucial saves during the game.
Yep.
Do you think that was just the difference between the two sides?
Yeah, in the scoreline, because then obviously we go 1-0 up early doors, then the momentum of the game changes. We set up slightly different, but our players, I mean, yeah, we're deflated, but we'll learn from it. Again, it's just obviously we've just been speaking to some of the lads because they've sort of obviously the knock-on of obviously from last week getting relegated to this losing the final now. It's tough, especially for the young players, sort of in that trying to build their mental strength, it's going to hurt now, because we came here to win, we took it seriously, and we were sort of set up to win the game.
Be a learning curve for some of those young lads, won't it? I know they won't appreciate that right now, but in years to come they'll appreciate that this was, learning about football.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the likes of Alfie in the middle, sort of 19, he's playing up against some very good players, and he looks good. Competed well. I mean, he's very frustrated. Like you said, he's down. It's going to hurt for a couple of days, but then it's about now is building them characters, building them up, and sort of making them a better player, but also a better man. What
was the mood before the game, considering that you are technically 2 levels above Winslow?
Yeah, the level in football didn't even come into it. There wasn't a case of thinking, Winslow are in sort of step 6 and we were step 4. It's going to be a thing. Not at all. It was a case of our players know a lot of their players. A lot of them play together, sort of with the flooring team. So the standard of football is going to be a very even game, and obviously it was even. One goal decided it.
As the game wore on, as I was walking around the edge, more and more people I could hear were saying penalties. Yeah. And then that late strike from Harry Dalton. Was there anything you could have done about the goal, do you think? Or
I mean, the type of game it was, we just didn't have that threat. So in my eyes, I'm actually thinking the penalties might be the better option. Give us that chance to win the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harry, great strike, great run behind. Yeah, we lost the ball up higher in the field, but the warnings were there. As soon as he's come on, he's should have scored, had a 1-on-1 and he's put it wide. So the warnings were there, and it was just a case of we didn't deal with it, and obviously then you start chasing the game, and they're breaking, and they still look dangerous from the threat.
You mentioned last weekend you were relegated. You knew that was coming anyway.
Yep.
What's the season been like in general for you as a manager?
Really tough. We've had to deal with a lot of sort of adversity, like you said about the relegation. Obviously getting told that halfway through the season forced us into sort of having to rebuild 3 times, because then you're trying to bring in the players, sort of for the players who have left, and it was difficult because they're sort of saying it was a case of I would come, but there's nothing to play for. So at the moment there's nothing for us to move. So I mean, I've got nothing for praise and credit for the lads who have stuck in, who have been here all right from the pre-season. There's about 3 or 4 who have been with us, sort of Nick Benyon, Carby, Derek, have been there sort of right through, and sort of Bruno as well, who's been fantastic. Attitude's been great, training every week. So I've got nothing for praise for them guys.
You mentioned it's been a tough season, but have you enjoyed it?
I have. I mean, I come as I left Oxford to come back into, because I would fancy to test myself sort of in a first team environment. So I've joined Scott as first team coach. Obviously Scott sort of left after sort of 10 games, I think it was 14 games. So then obviously I had the opportunity to manage. Massive learning curve. I have enjoyed it. There's obviously the relegation's a low point. Losing the cup finals is a low point. But again, I think as much as we're telling the players that they're going to learn from it, it's like I say, it's a massive learning curve for me.
Yeah. And next season, you want to carry on?
Yeah, I mean, next season we've obviously there's an awful lot going on behind the scenes at the club. There's a new committee in place who are sort of slowly getting sort of things in place, but it's been difficult because the season's still been going. The main focus has been on this season. Obviously, so it was last week, focus on that, focus on the cup. So now I think it's a case of we'll obviously let by. We've got a presentation next Friday, and then we'll see exactly where we are. There's meetings with the committee about moving forward and the ambitions and expectations.
But there's a big future for the club ahead.
Oh, there's a massive, because it's linking into the youth setup. The guys in the committee are are hungry, very ambitious, very organised. And with the youth, the pathway they're setting up, I think there's a massive future for the club.
Well, commiserations on today, and on behalf of everyone at Sports Shots, just want to say thank you to yourself, all your staff, all the players for all the interviews and previews that we've had from you this season, and we'll catch up with you again in probably August.
It's a pleasure, and we'll see you soon.